Hello and welcome to the last NOLO time of 2022. My name is Obed Velez and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you. Last episode of 2022. I'm already mentally in 2023, so I'm ready for this.
I'm
I'm ready
still
for
meant I'm already mentally in 2020.
this. Well, that's also fair.
How you doing, bro?
Dude, I'm doing great. I mean, we caught up recently before we were able to go live, so that's always good because it's been a while since I've seen you. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's always good to see you, man. It's always good to catch up. Nothing crazy to update on my side here. I haven't watched anything big yet. I know a very small independent film by the name of Avatar: The Way of Water is out, and I will be catching that over this break that we're going to be going into. So just so everyone knows at the top of the show, over these next couple of weeks between Christmas and New Year's, we will be out
Yeah. So we'll hopefully be back on January 5th? No, the 12th?
12th, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we want to let you all know that off top of the show, this is then we say this is it for a little bit. It's a break.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
break. That's all it is.
Yeah, we
Um,
usually take the this 1 week to relax, and then
yeah.
first week of the year we usually try to get together
Yes.
offline to like kind of like plan out what can we add to the show. As always, guys,
Right.
any suggestions? nolotime@gmail.com. Just drop us an email. Let us know what you want us to cover. If there's anything else that we can do to make you guys happy and stay around, we'll definitely take your feedback into consideration. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, over that break we'll come back with plenty, sure, of things to talk about. I mean, I'll have seen Avatar, Obed, I'm sure we'll have plenty of updates of things he's seen, played, done. And I can only imagine over Christmas we're gonna get some type of news. I mean, the news we're gonna talk about today is even evolving. So
yeah, I
it's
mean that's
it's
gonna
it's
be
gonna be a
basically
lot.
this is basically the topic of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's evolving as we're here. Yeah, last week I don't know if you can tell I'm still a little bit under the
Yeah.
weather, not too much, but yeah, last week all of a sudden, man, I got hit by a truck, and I was down for 2 days, man, and like unexpected because I haven't been. I came down with the I guess
The
human
man flu?
yeah,
Sorry.
the human malware. No, I came down with human malware at the beginning of the year last year, right? So that was our week off, so you guys didn't notice it. But I haven't gotten sick all year, and this is the first time that I kind of like came down with it, and unfortunately got everyone in the house sick. So
Ugh.
it stinks when it
Hey,
happens.
you were not hit by a truck. You were unwell. Just to clarify,
Oh,
because people
unwell.
already said
I
you
mean,
got hit by a
I am
truck.
always unwell, Joe. It's
That's that might be a mental health conversation, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we laugh so we don't cry. But yeah, it's one of those things that when you started the show, you said I got hit by a truck, guys. Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
I had a
basically,
lot of thoughts. I mean, no one sees that coming. But
basically.
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh man.
and let's go to what's ups, right? Because
Yeah.
I do have I guess kind of like an extended theme park thing going on. I don't know if you have anything else to share.
No, no, you're
Um,
good.
Only thing I gotta share is that I am about 30 hours into Out of War, and the game is real good.
Nice,
That
nice.
game is real good, Joe. Like it's no joke. Like the reviews were not lying. It's legit. Like this is the real deal. It's yeah. It's up there. I mean, I can totally see why Elden Ring kind of like swept most of the game of the year talk. Elden Ring was an amazing experience, right? I showed you the was it the PlayStation 4 wrap up, and I put 126 hours or something like that on it. I mean, I'll go back whenever there's an expansion, right? But for the time being, I'm kind of like letting that game simmer down, and I'll come back to it eventually. But what an amazing experience that game was! That game was so good. Um, you know, I can't say any more like positive things that I've already said about it. And even if you're on the fence about playing the game, and because of the difficulty, it's just not that hard. I mean, it's not Bloodborne hard. Bloodborne was definitely a lot more challenging. I think Sekiro, because of the pace of the combat, is a more challenging game overall. But Elden Ring, it gives you plenty. It's up to you how you use it, right? And it's real good. That game's excellent. But yeah, God of War really, so far fantastic. I mean, it's nuts. The story is it's absolutely incredible so far, and I can't wait to see how this thing wraps up. Um, the one thing I did, Joel, because like I mentioned, I got hit by a truck, but we had already promised my daughter that we were going to go to SeaWorld, which I haven't been to SeaWorld in 19 years. It's been
Okay.
quite a long time. Uh, you know, it's basically a lifetime away for some people, right? It's
Yeah.
it's been a long, long, long time. Um, okay. I first thing, right? It's fantastic when you can just walk up to a window and do I want tickets. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How easy is that, right? Excellent. On the downside, because I was under the weather, I didn't get to ride any other big rides. It's like I wasn't feeling well. I was with my parents. If I was not gonna ride it, my wife was not gonna ride it. That sort of thing, right?
Sure.
So I basically gave my daughter the map. I was like, here you go. Tell me what you want to do, and we'll go there and do it. And that was our pretty much our plan for the day, and it worked out. Like we got there around 9:30. We were there until 7 ish, maybe.
Oh wow. Wow.
So we were
All day.
there. We were there pretty much all day. Yeah, and it was great. Everyone was very friendly. The park was clean, and everything was in order. Nothing to envy when it comes to like the big guys, right? Um, I I don't want to say it's a criticism, right? Because it's not. As like their food is super overpriced. And that's always been the case, right? For some reason, I
Yeah.
remember going back in the '90s, and for some reason their food prices were always higher than like Disney and Universal. But yeah, no, two very high prices, and that's fine, whatever. Um, but overall, everything was very well organized, and very impressed with the entire experience. I never seen. This is my first time seeing like the Sesame Street area they have.
Okay. Cool.
Um, Very interesting. It's very nice, actually. And somehow it has really good synergy with the rest of the park. So I think that was a brilliant choice, like marketing choice of like getting that problem that SeaWorld had in the past where they didn't really have an IP and they were able to secure a partnership. I think it worked out perfect because that little
Yeah.
area there, that's probably where we spend the most of the time. And my
Wow.
my daughter did everything. We went around. It was really nice, dude. I was very impressed. Um, Overall, again, very impressed with everything. So, uh,
You do any of the shows?
we did just the Orca and the Elmo's Christmas. That's the only thing we did, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they did have a ton of shows, a ton of shows. So that said, right, because of the park layout, that park it's basically a circle around a lake, and because of the park's layout, when it got to around 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, a lot of people are coming in, and it got really, really crowded. It was busy, right, but not insane. But at that, like after that, it got really, really crowded. A lot of people coming in for the Christmas events. Maybe their annual passes are pretty cheap, so a lot of
Yeah.
people just go. And it was a little bit. It was a bit of a challenge moving around. because of again the layout and not having a lot of walking space. But other than that, we had a great time. And I don't know how I made it, bro. I think I sweat out all the germs or whatever. But but it
Hope you didn't make
was
no one sick.
I
Jeez.
know, yeah, hopefully. Well, I mean, every like I said, just like the next following day, my daughter came down. Following
Oh,
day, my wife came down. My daughter's doing better now, but my wife is super busted still. So, um, you know, it's a hazard, I guess. It's one of those
yeah.
hazards that you have to live with. Um, but yeah, man, like if I would be feeling well, right, I would have definitely had a better time. Because I well, even not feeling well, I still had a good time, right? And I think that as an alternative to Disney, which is you know, out of a lot of people's price ranges and overcrowded and all this stuff, right? Is definitely a good option. Like if you have smaller children, it's super chilled. You can just sit down and hang out and have a very expensive coffee. That's fine. It's it's a park. It's good. It's good. Like and they're expanding. Like they're building new stuff, and like I said, everything was well kept. And my daughter had a great time. That's the most important part of that trip. So yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah, last time I went, I want to say it was maybe 2018. I want to say I don't think Sesame Street was done yet.
Okay.
And so yeah, mostly shows. You've got your coasters. And I think the one thing, which understandably, because they did what they had to do, they had to, from a PR standpoint, make changes. But one of the things that I think that I did miss was that I was like, SeaWorld used to be almost like a zoo to some extent. Like it was like you had your, your different abilities to like I remember like for example, like the polar bears. I remember like there was like a
Ooh,
huge thing with a bunch of polar bears and stuff.
yeah.
And as a kid, like I liked that kind of stuff,
Yep.
right? Now, I'm not saying that it's ruined because they did that. That's the wrong take. I'm just saying that it felt very different is the right choice of words
Yeah.
compared to what it was. And I think like, you come in with that years ago of a mindset and then you're like, wow, this is not the same park that was before. Not to the same extent, like I give them credit because they had to make these changes and they put an emphasis on creating things like how you said you didn't even go on any rides and you still had a good time.
Yeah.
Like they've be able to create like this very casual, cool experience for a good price. I hope they're all right. I hope that things go well for them because,
Yeah.
I know they're here. I know they're also in California.
The one in
they're
like Ohio closed down or whatever.
I'm
Those
not sure.
those
The
one in the
good.
Midwest, and I think they closed down. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, before, and I totally get what you're saying, because I remember before it was more like an aquatic circus to some extent.
Yeah.
Like you see animals do tricks and that thing. The thing with the polar bears, I remember it vaguely. I remember
Yeah.
seeing them, but I don't remember them doing it at, really anything with the polar bears. But the I think more they not now they're more focused on the conservation end of it, which is I think the right
Yeah.
approach to handling this sort of park. So, good job.
For sure.
Yeah, that was good. So cool. All right. Yeah. You wanna start with the good news, or you wanna go straight to the juicy stuff?
I'd say we go with the good news because
Good.
we're gonna rant for a while.
Okay. All right.
Once we, I'm not saying the whole episode, but we're gonna rant.
Okay. We got a trailer for for Spider-Man. What's the name again? Into the Spider-Verse
Across the
2, or
Spider Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, across the Spider Verse.
Yeah, good stuff. Looks good. Looks solid again, as expected from the phenomenal first movie. And it's cool to see all the different Spider-Man, including the Spider-Man from the PlayStation game, and other Spider-Man. So yeah, good stuff. Not much to say because half of the trailer is his clips from Into the Spider-Verse. So yeah, But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I liked it a lot. As you know, I'm a big Spidey guy. Into the Spider-Verse, I think is one of the best animated movies I've seen since I was probably a kid. Like it's been a long time. Like I've seen other movies that I liked, but this one I truly love. I really think the first Into the Spider-Verse is just something fantastic and it's amazing. Anyways, this trailer or teaser, however you want to look at it, I do love how it focuses more so on who Spider-Man truly is and the characteristics and the morals, right? And like you always had that Uncle Ben character. You always had that, right? And they do that a lot in the beginning, like the identity, what you stand for, what it means to be Spider-Man, the great power, the great responsibility, right? And um and with this trailer, you see, his mother, Miles's mother, like basically speak to him saying, like, don't let anyone like, change you, not accept who you are, like be yourself. And I think I think it's said in a way that's really like whatever he's gonna face, which we get the idea from the trailer, is like, what if there was many of you? Like at the end of the day, there's still one you. Like there's a distinction in who you are and what makes you special. And like people, like there could be tons and tons of Spider-Mans. They could be tons and tons of different personality types, but there's something special about Miles, something special about Peter. Like each of them have their own calling stuff. So I know on the surface it could seem just like cool, pretty colors, good art, nice words, but I really think that like I love that they take a very profound, deeper look when it comes to this character in a way that most people don't really suspect. And animation sometimes does this. We definitely have had good examples of this for sure. But I really think that like it's easy to glance over the incredible richness of the character building that they do in
oh
this
yeah,
world. Now, this is just from a trailer. I have not seen the movie. I look forward to seeing how that goes. But it's like you get your fun little teases. You get your PS5, your PS5, Spidey. You get your other different iterations that you're gonna see of Spider-Man in there. That's cool. But at the end of the day, like it's easy to glance over like what's special about this character. And again, I'm saying this as a Spider-Man fan. You could hear it in the love of my heart. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's really cool.
yeah, yeah. And that first movie was special too. That was so good,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just I guess piggybacking off of that, this week was also announced that the sequel to the Spider-Man game, PlayStation game, is coming out fall next year.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like at the end of the show we'll do 2023 predictions. I got some crazy stuff that I'm gonna throw out there, um, and this was like part of it is that I think that PlayStation has a lot of things that they haven't shown. Like I see a lot of people saying, I was like, oh, what's coming out next year, and then Spider-Man gets announced, right? But other than that, I think that there's going to be some major stuff coming out that we don't know of. That's on top of Final Fantasy 16 and all the other stuff that's already confirmed. That game Forspoken demoed really well too. The demo's out, and they're gathering feedback, and they're gonna make some tweaks. But the game's coming out in a couple weeks, and so we're starting off the new year with like a brand new franchise from Square Enix. So, but yeah, man, this game's phenomenal. I can't wait.
I know. I'm really excited for it. It's so cool because like your PS4 Spider-Man game, really good, and then your Miles's game, which just took it to the next level. You put the two of these together, how
Yeah,
can they mess this
and
up?
Venom,
I
which
and Venom,
you can assume, right, that you'll play as Venom at some point,
I think so.
right? So
I think so.
yeah,
Like, how can they mess this up, dude? I mean, if they mess this up, like they have no one to blame but themselves because two really solid efforts.
it's
Um,
Insomniac. It's
it's
I mean
Insomniac,
they know
yeah.
what they're doing. Yeah,
They showing it, and I
yeah,
think it's like weird because it's not the same, but it very much feels like how like the Batman Arkham series was just really, really special. I feel like this is gonna be one of those series that like people are gonna talk back about and be like, "Oh man, like I remember those Spider-Man games."
right.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, that game. I was blown away with how good that game was. I platinumed that first one. I didn't
Oh
platinum.
yeah, yeah.
I never went back and tried to platinum Miles, but that first one, dude, I
It's
was so
amazing.
good. That game is incredible, incredible. And talk about like uh, having or the game being a homage to everything Spider-Man with all the suits and all that. So it was just amazing. So yeah, good stuff. Can't wait. Other than that, we got kind of like a strange sort of announcement, I guess. And it is that I guess a Death Stranding movie is in the works from the studio that brought Barbarian, which was a horror movie that came out this year, and I think did really well too. And yeah, not much to say there. I don't know if Kojima's directing. That would be interesting, right? Um,
Yeah.
I think that they if they let Kojima direct and they do, I'm assuming that the cast is gonna be back. Like everyone's gonna be back, right? So um, yeah, man,
What
this
about
is
Del Toro?
very interesting. Del Toro could be back because Del Toro's his uh his character was important, but he wasn't there like a lot, right? So Del Toro could be there. I mean,
He could
Del Toro
direct it.
could
That's what I'm
direct it.
saying.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he could cameo, right? And
Right.
and then he can direct it. Um, yeah, yeah. Del Toro would be the choice. If it's not
Right.
Kojima, it would be Del Toro. Yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
totally.
That's interesting. Now, do you think a movie makes more sense than a series?
Um, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think that it's no, that movie would be better,
Okay.
right? Because I mean, it would be a long movie, but there's extended periods of time in the game that you're by yourself, right? Um, I would say 95% of the game you're by yourself,
Wow.
and just having a show, just having it drag, right? It's probably not a good idea. You can have him go out of his way and do a couple of the side stuff that was really good, and then but focus on the story. Um, I think the story in this game was really good. A lot of people were bored and it's like this is super weird, but it was very anime. But at the same time, it had a message, right? It's like Kojima is very anti-war, very anti-nuclear weapons and all that. So it had a clear message, and I think that the message came through, and the way it was delivered, right, with I don't want to spoil it with like flashbacks and all this stuff. That it was great. So yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It's just interesting that we're seeing, I don't want to say a rise in this because there's always been attempts at, uh, bringing game franchises into the film and media space. That there's been attempts for a long time, but it just feels like it's been reinvigorated recently. I would argue that after the success of Sonic, the first one at least, you did start to hear more studios at least talking about bringing adaptations from stuff. I mean, we have God of War coming to Amazon.
yeah.
That's unique, right?
And they're gonna
Obviously, The
and they're gonna
Last
go
of Us.
straight to the Nordic setting. They're skipping the Greek setting. Yeah,
Yeah, straight to the
yeah.
2018 game.
The Last of Us,
Um,
that they're really strong with marketing now. Like they're really showing it out there, and I mean that show looks really good. So
yeah, that's an HBO staple, right? You get The Last of Us series, which I think makes perfect sense as a series. It makes way more sense as a series than a movie.
The Last of Us,
And
yes,
then,
yeah.
right? And then you have Mario the movie coming out next year that just
The cir-
you and I will talk about predictions
we'll
in a
circle
bit.
back to that. Yeah,
We'll talk about that in a bit, but I think there's something very special there.
yeah, totally, totally. All right. How are we doing on time? Let me see. Let me
Should we
see.
take a break?
Yeah. Let's take a break, sir. And
Stay with us, the big one.
oh, we'll be right back. Hello. We're back. All right, Joel. It's time for DC. What are you doing? And I'm not even going to ask what is going on in the WBs because what the heck is happening, dude? This like I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Everyone's gone. Everyone's fired. And now, okay. So let's start with after Henry Cavill coming out, or Cavill, I'm sorry, putting out that video and saying, hey, guys, I'm back, right? And everyone's like, yeah, Superman's back. And, him leaving Witcher, which is a separate story. We're not going to cover that today. But it comes out again last week that, oh, there you go. Wow. What's that? That was in 1930 something, right? That when the law caught fire, that's basically what's going on right now, Joel. Thank you.
Yep.
So Henry comes out this week and says, or no, I'm sorry, it was like James Gunn first said it, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're moving forward. He's not included. And then he put out a statement, a very Superman-like statement, I might say. And I don't know. It's like, he's gone. He's not going to be there anymore. And oh, by the way, we're cutting the cameo on Flash. Oh, by the way, we're also cutting Wonder Woman's cameo on Flash. And then also, oh, by the way, Wonder Woman 3 is not happening with Patty Jenkins. And oh, by the way, Black Adam 2 is not happening. And The Rock is pissed. And he even unfollowed the WB accounts on social media. What the heck, dude? What is happening, Joe?
It's like, where do you even start?
It's like
because there's so much.
Is that not really James Gunn? Is that Bob Chapek with a wig? He just comes in and cancels everything.
Oh my gosh. Here's what I gotta say. Here's what I gotta say about James. I think that's a good place to start, right? Let's talk about James Gunn for a second. Because I think I've been pretty straightforward about how I feel about James Gunn, where many people just started singing his praises. I've made it clear that I have things I like and things I don't like about him. Everybody loved the Suicide Squad, the new one. I was like, meh.
I was indifferent towards that movie.
People People loved, the first Guardians. I really like the first Guardians.
Mm.
Guardians 2, meh. I said it on the podcast early on. I was like, I didn't think it was that good. I didn't think it was a disaster, but I didn't think it was that good. And you kind of, I talked to someone else about this recently too. It's not the same because this person actually does have accolades that we can talk about, but it's almost like the same people like I've done with like Taika for an example, the same thing where people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, it's Taika Waititi, it must be good." It's like Waititi must be good. It's like, don't get me wrong. I mean, we are talking about a guy who's won awards, Jojo Rabbit, all this stuff. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he's done what we've done, the Shadows, whatever, right? Like he's created things that are well received. But then you get things like Thor: Love and Thunder, and you're like, what the heck's going on? Um, the point being here is like I thought the best stuff that James Gunn has done has been, where he had someone to reel him in. Yep, exactly, reel him in.
Hmm.
And I that was one of the things that I said early on about when they hired him. I didn't say I thought he was the right person for the job. But I was supportive of it because I said, well, if you have Peter Safran with him, that might help having like two co-presidents, right? To
Yeah.
really kind of keep him in check. At the same extent, look at all the stuff Safran's worked on. It's the same stuff. And
Yeah.
that's something that I said early on with the podcast when the news was announced with that. I was like,
Scary
kind of feels a little
movie
bit
or
like more of
whatever.
the
Right?
same. I would have like yeah, like I would have rather them have gone a little bit more radically different. However, the stuff Gunn is saying loosely about his ideas for the future of the DCEU, I personally, not even the DCEU anymore, forget that's
No,
dead.
yeah, that's dead. Yeah.
Um, with
The
what's going
DC
on
going
now,
forward, we should say, right,
DC
at this point.
DC going forward, exactly.
Yeah.
The stuff that he is saying sounds right on paper. I will say that. I just don't trust him. I just don't trust them. I don't trust. Now that trust can be earned. Like you can change my mind. Your trust can be earned, but right now I just don't trust it. Um, Look, did I expect them to continue the Snyderverse? No.
No.
I did I expect them to kind of make it be canon? Yes. I thought there was going to be take because specifically when you see Black Adam. And then you started hearing like you were talking about the stuff with Flash.
Yeah.
And then remember we talked about it with Aquaman, where Ben Affleck was on set and it was like, well, surprise, he's an Aquaman too. Like we weren't supposed to tell you, but it leaked because some people were doing a tour and they saw Ben on set for Aquaman. Um, and so those kind of rumors made you go, oh my goodness, they're getting them back. Like these people wouldn't come back, any other thing. But all that came to an end. And that's the comments when you talk about the very first domino to drop was the Henry Cavill, right? Like that was the first big one where we realized, okay, they really are going different because it had been, I mean, literally he posted like, I'm back. Thank you guys for your support. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Right after seeing, Black Adam. And that was the first domino when it was announced, hey, I talked to James Gunn, I talked to Safran, and that's it. My time to wear the cape is over. It's not happening. And it was a very emotional post. It was a very intense post. But in that moment, you realize, okay, if you're taking out Superman, it's done. I mean, everything else, it
Yeah,
is
there's
over.
nothing else there for
There's nothing
anyone
else.
to. Yeah, it's done.
Yes, now some of the information that we're getting now, we can start jumping in some of the other stuff, right? Like, um, the stuff with The Rock, his statement that he put out, right? Saying, I talked to them. We're not making Black Adam 2. We'll continue to talk about the future of Black Adam. The stuff you're seeing with Gal Gadot saying, oh, we didn't say that we gave her the boot, but you didn't say that you're keeping her. That's the only comment you put out there on Twitter was, "Oh, where are you
Yeah.
getting this information? We gave her the boot, but you didn't say you're keeping her." And then the same thing with Ben Affleck. Well, Ben Affleck's gonna be around, but he'll be directing,
Yeah.
not gonna be doing anything else.
Correct. Yeah. That's the thing.
Jason Momoa, oh, he's back, but he ain't gonna be Aquaman anymore.
He's gonna be back to
Um,
finish the movie that he's making. Yeah, that's it.
right, right, same
There's
thing.
already too much money in it, and they can at least salvage it and get money out of that. So
But he'll supposedly be Lobo, right? That's like supposedly the thing. Supposedly, we'll see till confirmed.
Who
We talked about
cares
this. No
about
one cares
Lobo?
about Lobo. Tell me literally five issues of Lobo. What it's even about? Like you can't. They don't. No one knows. No one cares. There are people. Don't get me wrong. It's a general statement. There are
Um,
people who are watching.
Lo-
Smart people. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying,
yeah,
like it's a general statement to
Lobo.
say.
Yeah, I think that Lobo is a product of its time. It's like Watchmen, right? Like
Yeah.
Watchmen was very impactful when it came out, right? When the movie came out, I was like, "What the heck is this thing?" It's like an outdated message of nihilism. It's like and Lobo's the same thing, right? It was like the edgy period of the comic books. It's like, who cares, dude? Like no one cares. Like Lobo's like Ghost Rider. No one cares. No one cares.
No.
You know, and he's fine as like a supporting thing, but who cares, dude? It's like Green Arrow. Green Arrow is like TV stuff. Like no one cares about Green Arrow.
No. No. I
So
I do though think that if you are going to do a reset or restart, you can be like just like how the Avengers. No one cared about Iron Man, but you make them care.
I
I
mean,
will
I
say,
cared. I would say that. Like I know, like no one, and that's true to some extent, right?
yeah, yeah,
But I cared. Like I knew who Iron Man was, and I really
for
cared.
sure.
So yeah.
For sure. Did you had like what was it like your bed sheets or windows or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. When I
Like
was a kid, I had
was a kid?
Avengers
Yeah.
curtains. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Obed knew was he was a fan
Dude, come
before it
on.
was cool.
Yeah, exactly. I've been
Um
fight. I've been in this fight since I've been 6 years old.
oh my goodness.
Come on.
All right, Andor. Uh
For you, everything's now real, right?
you merely adopted.
Yeah, I merely adopted it. I was born in it. Yeah,
It's
it's like
awesome.
anime, right? It's like, oh, all these gatekeepers. It's like, bro, I was like,
I was there when
I was scraping VHS tapes in 1994 in the back of the freaking local video store looking for anime. Are you kidding me, dude? You're trying to
awesome.
gatekeep me?
It's awesome. My point being, like, you started to see those dominoes fall. Now, Obed, I don't know what your thought before I get into the future of DC. The Rock stuff. I know you haven't seen Black Adam yet. We'll talk about more soon when you get a chance to see it.
Yep.
Um, disappointed that that we won't get the character. I don't necessarily Black Adam too. I personally don't feel that was necessary, but I would have liked to have seen like Black Adam versus Superman or something around those nature. But based on everything going on with The Rock, right? The and you guys can look this up. We're not gonna spend too much time getting into it because we got the time to talk about a lot of things. But talking about specifically him trying to defend the finances of the movie and say we were in the black, we weren't in the red, essentially breaking even. Um, also saying that he supposedly was offered at the time to have a cameo in The Flash and in Shazam, and he turned that down. Said, "No, I'm not doing that politely." Um, and basically, I play with the big boys, like I play in the big ones, and that's it. Uh, like, what's your thoughts on what's going on there with The Rock?
Um, it's the same thing that happened with Vin Diesel and him. Which is basically
Wow.
I'm the biggest movie star, and you don't get to tell me what to do. It's what it is, dude. I love The Rock, but it's what it is. I mean, and he's not wrong.
Yeah,
Like he's not wrong, right? I mean, who knows how long the streak's gonna last, right? Um, I mean, Jungle Cruise was I guess a demonstrable flop to some extent, and we'll see how long he can go with it, right? It's like I'm the top dog. You're not gonna cameo me, bro. That's basically what happened. Like
for sure.
there's no going around it. And I mean, he has every right. Like he is or was up until recently the biggest like box office like draw in for a long time, right? So if he doesn't want a cameo in Aquaman, that's yeah, I wouldn't do it, right? I'm my own guy, right? I can see like Henry did it for Black Adam because he asked him, right? And it's like heck yeah, like I know that he would probably have any excuse that he would have to put the suit back on, he'll do it. But I don't think it would have worked the other way around, right? That would have been the thing, right? Is like if they do like another like if they would have done another movie with Cavill, then I could see him coming back for a cameo, right? Because he's like top dog or Batfleck, right? If you know if we get a Batman with Affleck and he would show up, right? But not for Aquaman and not for not for the Flash. I don't know. I don't. I'm conflicted, right? Because I wanted this universe to go forward, right? But it's clear that it's not going anywhere. And at this point, yeah, they should just nuke it and start from scratch.
And now from the Superman standpoint, what Gunn is saying is he is personally writing the script for that Superman project. The which we would assume if that's the first time we've heard of an actual project outside of this being worked on, um, that would make you assume that that's probably going to be their first film to come out, like out of the new universe stuff. If that's the one that's already they're already writing a script on it, talking about directors, whatever, changing cast, whatever. That's got to be one of the first in development. It's got to be the first to come out, the first really blow us away. That's bold, but I
Mm.
do love that Superman being the front is how it should be. That's
Oh
really how it
yeah,
should be.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, Now, what I don't like is there's a lot of this misunderstanding around, hey, we're not like trying almost like they're trying to still appease the fan base, but also like still just go forward with their new stuff. So it's like there's a lot of misinformation going on. Like we're not booting Gal and then you have, for example, Zachary Levi putting out like don't get your information completely right from the internet, like saying that he's gone, he's not coming back. And then you get the same thing with The Rock, like, oh, I'm not doing another movie, but I'm still talking to Gunn and them about, the future of Black Adam, what the plans are. But clearly Henry Cavill's the one person that's like he gone.
Right.
I
The
don't
one
I
that everyone really wanted back is the one that's gone.
exactly.
And I mean, bluntly speaking, right? The fandom, myself included, right? We have oh, every right to be pissed about it.
Yeah.
But I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask Angry Joe about it. I don't know if you watched that video.
Yeah, I did.
Dude almost had a freaking heart attack yelling at
Yeah.
the camera. And I totally get him. And yeah. I mean, I feel like that. I'm not gonna go ahead
Yeah.
and film myself doing it, but
No, no.
but it's like I saw it and I was like, eh. And it's like and I saw it probably, I'm not so I deleted my Twitter app of my phone and my iPad. It was becoming too I guess detrimental for me and the my algorithm broke and I was getting undesired content and I just don't support the way that the company is being run right now. So I just went and deleted the app. I didn't delete my account, but I'm not going to the website. So, I've been mostly getting my stuff from Reddit, which because of their filtering may take anywhere from 25 minutes to an hour. So I'm a little bit behind. So when I saw the news, right, I think I saw it on Facebook because IGN posted it,
Yeah.
and that's how I got it. I was like, oh well, great. It's like, whoop de doo, this freaking idiots. Because I mean, why not give people what they want, right? It's like how long have people have begged Disney to do stuff and they don't do it, and then they eventually give in and do it. It's like, well, we asked for like Luke, right? And then we got Luke and the Last Jedi. Is like, no, we want Luke, like a real Luke, and
Really.
they had to give us Mando Luke, right? So, you know, I don't think they're in the same boat. I think that the priorities at WB slash DC are very very different from the priorities that they Disney have. But I don't know. That was almost offensive to some extent.
It's weird, but here's what makes it even more I don't want to say problematic, but worrisome. Not shocking, but worrisome. Is so all this comes about, right? Like after one, James Gunn went on a Twitter rant against another online influencer, Josh from Den of Nerds. He's also a lot of times featured on with Theory. They have their show Nerd Theory, right,
Hmm.
on Star Wars, right? So he had been putting out stuff saying, "Hey, look, I'm hearing my sources are saying that like he
My
does not like."
sources are saying.
My sources are saying, like, I'm not quoting it directly. You can go look this up, right? But like, this is like a couple days before, and I was seeing this all on Twitter, and I was like, oh, Gunn's like times in, like he's like straight. I'm not saying he's fighting this dude, but he's reacting to this guy, and he's like basically he's like, oh, my source saying like James Gunn like hates Cavill Superman, like he wants nothing to do with this, right? And then like
Man.
literally Gunn jumps in and he's like starts insulting him. I kid you not. Jumps in
Whoa.
and he starts tweeting stuff like,
Really?
"Yo, yeah, man, you could check this out." Stuff like, "Oh, like you need to get our sources. Like you're not instead of living under your mom's basement or so whatever." Like
See,
stuff like this
that's the
against
kind
this
of drama
guy.
that I haven't had to deal with for 2 weeks, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, see, it's not directed at me. It's just head scratching.
Yeah, yeah.
But like it's one that like so you see him saying this stuff, and I'm like, dude, like, isn't that what got you like in trouble the first time the stuff you tweeted? Anyways, so
Right.
so he starts saying all this stuff like whatever, right? And then like Josh like tweets him back like, yo, like I'm supportive of you, but this is what I had heard, whatever. And then like the next day you hear like Cavill's out and he's like, oh, but we're still leading with Superman. Like he's still important to us. He's still important,
I'm just
but it's just
trying to
not
do like
count.
a and then they come out and say it's like, oh, there's gonna be like a younger like Superman trying to do the thing. It's like, how many
Which
times have we seen that, bro?
which I think all of us in our reaction, most people in the this was like, hey, I guess you're trying to do a Spider-Man. Like you're trying to do like Tom Holland
Oh
Spider-Man where it's
no.
young and like he's
Who
lighthearted and it's whatever, but it's not like because they didn't show you his intro, right? They didn't show when the spider bit him. They didn't show when Uncle Ben bites dust. But what you do see is the fact that like he's a young coming up to be
it's
like
Smallville,
he's
bro.
whatever.
No.
Right. That's what they're saying. Like he won't
I
live in
don't want it.
Smallville, but
I don't
he
want
will
it.
be working for the Bugle.
I don't want it.
Um,
I'm not gonna support that. I don't care.
that's where they're going. I think it could be good if it's lively, colorful, hopeful, very like Superman stands for. He doesn't need to be the Dark Knight, right? He doesn't need to be this, dark brooding. He needs to be this figure of hope and
I
joy for
know,
people.
but it's
So I
I mean it'll come down of
sure.
who's who and what's going on.
Exactly,
You know.
exactly how they do it. But Obid, so he says all this, whatever, right? Then does that action. But then more stuff's coming out and has not been debunked yet. I mean, more information is coming, right? But Obid, the people that are staying on like pretty much for sure is like the entire Suicide Squad cast, like Margot Robbie and like John Cena, and then his wife, right? That his wife is gonna stay, who works as Argus, and spoiler alert, she's in Black Adam, and she's in Suicide Squad, and she's in his Peacemaker show or whatever. So it's like, dude, the nepotism. Like you keep this character nobody even cares about, but you get rid of Henry
Yeah.
Cavill Superman. Like that's not a good look. Again, could this work out really well? I believe it can because if I had to, as much as I'm criticizing right now and I'm ranting, as I think about it more and more, I also think to myself, like maybe this is what's needed because if you're not gonna continue what was, don't soft reboot it, just hardcore reboot it. I just don't trust the person who's doing the reboot. That's the problem that I
Mm,
have.
I
I
don't know.
don't trust the problem of who's doing it, man. Do you trust them? Because I right now
And right
I said
now,
guns down.
yeah, we've been gunned down. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I was hopeful at the beginning. I don't know how I feel about it now. You
This is
know,
gonna be some Comic Con, dude.
this was
When
like
I'm out there, whatever presentation they lay out their stuff,
it's it's really strange. And we were very critical. I mean, we've been very critical of Kathleen Kennedy. We've been very critical of Chapek. We've been critical of some of the stuff that happened over at Disney, right? And yeah, I mean, we've been critical of DC since the beginning. Like, I think our first episode was like us like dumping on DC too. It's like, or one of the first, and I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and then the Wonder Woman thing, real quick, is just basically like the movie got canceled, the third movie. Patty Jenkins out. Allegedly, like, she had a script in mind, and he read it, and he's like, "Nah, bro, get out of here." And
Which Patty released
and then she
a whole
said, yeah, and
press.
then she said it was like, it's not true. I wasn't fired. Like, we parted amicably or whatever. So,
Yeah.
you know, oh man. And the thing with The Rock, it's like, yo, it's like, I'm not doing it. What the heck, dude? What the heck?
We are gonna get
I don't
three
know,
movies.
man.
We're gonna get Shazam. We're gonna get Flash. We're gonna get Aquaman. That's it. Out of all the
Huh.
ones and things that I could have done without was Flash. I could care after all the stuff that's going on with from the personal behind the scenes to just how long the movie
Bro,
has been to come out. I have
yeah.
lost interest.
And then the rumors that they were working, it was already in they were working on a Batman Beyond movie with Keaton as old Wayne, and they
That's
canceled
sad.
it too.
No,
That,
no,
bro,
that's
that
sad.
you really like that's a
Yeah,
kick in the nuts, bro. It's like,
that's
no,
sad. I
why?
love Batman Beyond.
Yeah, it's
Loved Batman
excellent.
Beyond.
Batman Beyond is excellent. Oh man, I don't know.
So my
It's very
assumption now for the
strange.
future, Obed,
Okay,
is that you'll get the worlds of DC. Like we've said this
predictions.
beforehand a lot.
Predictions. Okay, yeah, let's go into
Predictions.
predictions for 2023 and possibly beyond. Let's go.
So they're gonna like Batman's gonna finish, right? You're gonna get three movies, right, of your Batman films,
Okay.
right? You're gonna get those are gonna come out.
Oh, the
It's
Matt
gonna be
Reeves
fine.
Batman.
Matt Reeves
Yeah.
Batman. He's not gonna be in the Justice League.
Mm.
You're going to get Joker. You may even get a third movie. I think maybe it's just stick the two, but you may even get a third. They're gonna let that be its own thing. We'll never interact with any of the other
Yeah.
DC characters. You won't see Joaquin do anything else. Um, after that, I think you get your full reset, right? Your full new team, new lineup, new world, whatever leads up to their Avengers style film. And I think at some point the multiverse will happen because it's inevitable. Every superhero thing ever's done it. And
Hmm.
that's why they're trying to play nice with these stars of today by still making sure that they're not just calling them up and saying, "Oh, my agent told me you're out." Like they're having physical meetings, sitting down, talking to Cavill. They're having meetings with these other people, and they're saying Ben Affleck, like they literally sat and talked to them. They're playing nice because if the multiverse thing goes the way that they want, this is how you're able to do like what Marvel did when they call Patrick Stewart, and he's like, "Sure, I'll go in the wheelchair again because." We've got a good relationship, or
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire comes back in, because it's a good relationship. I think they want to make sure that they leave those doors open because if it goes wrong, you can easily say, let's pull from the stuff people do like, and all of a sudden, people will be happy if they see Cavill on the screen or see, the Black Adam on screen again.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's my prediction for the future of them. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Man, it's very very disappointing what's going on, and you know, I guess we'll see in a couple of years. I mean, this is something that's probably going to take another 2 years to actually start putting out stuff, even 3 years, right? So we shall see. Um, so real quick, because you put in the notes for tonight, but I guess that in the Ahsoka show, Hayden Christensen is confirmed to be returning as Vader, and there will be a recreation of the battle in the Sith Temple. That's very exciting. Again, listening to your fans, right? It kind of works, Bob. It kind of works.
What a concept.
Right. Um, so yeah, so that's cool. Not much to add there. I am very excited for Star Wars next year.
Different actress to play Ahsoka, and when she's younger, Clone Wars Ahsoka. Not sure who the actress is going to be. We'll find that out. And not confirmed if Ashley will be doing the voice for younger Ahsoka, similarly how like we saw Ray Park doing Maul, and then we saw the voiceover right
Oh
work done.
yeah,
Where different voice actor, right? Um, could be the same thing, but they
could be.
do here,
Yeah,
where you get a physical body double, body playing Ahsoka, but then as a younger person, but then you have, Ashley doing the voice.
yeah,
See, we'll see.
cool. Yeah, we'll see. That's very interesting. And yeah, man. So I mean, this is the last show of the year. I wanted to do some predictions for what to expect next year. I got two kind of crazy ones that I want to throw out there. I don't know if you have any or if you want to, you know, kind of like throw any like announcement predictions or whatnot. Of course, you're going to be back at Comic Con next year and you're going to be bringing us all that good stuff. Um, but I got a prediction. And I think Joe, this is wild, right? I think Disney's gonna get split. I have a prediction that Disney's not gonna get sold. It's gonna get split. Disney is going to branch off ESPN and ABC into separate companies. They're going to keep Marvel's going to keep doing what they're doing, and um, and they may sell Hulu or branch it off into something else that is not connected to the company itself. And Disney's gonna go back to almost an Eisner like operation where they will, it'll be the Disney brand, and then everything else is gonna be operated separately. Um, that's a prediction that I have, and we'll see it starting next year. I don't know to what extent it's gonna be breaking into parts, but that's my prediction. Like the way that I see things going, the way that I see, Iger coming in and trying to do, whatever he's trying to do. I think that's what it is. I don't think that they're involved with FTX and all this like nefarious stuff that a lot of people are putting out there on the internet, and it's kind of far fetched, honestly speaking. Um, but I do think that they're gonna like Fox is gonna up they're gonna be that's gonna be a separate thing, separate company, right? And they're gonna be, they're still going to be part of Disney, but they'll own have they will all have their own like CEO that will be operating it and everything. And it's the only way that I could see this ship being turned around positively in a timely manner. So it's a bold prediction that I have, sir.
Wow. Wow. I was still of the mindset of the Apple thing. Like, Iger will make his last big negotiation instead of it being an acquisition of Disney acquiring will be instead another company acquiring them. But that's still like very hard for me to stand behind that boldly. Like I don't feel as confident about it, but it's a good prediction of what you have of them of splitting out and being more individualistic. Um, I don't see it right now, but it makes sense.
Yeah, at least
And that's the thing. That's usually the stuff you don't see but makes sense that does usually happen.
yeah.
So
I think the two parts that I can see them like splitting off would be ESPN and ABC. Um,
see,
mhm.
but why wouldn't they just consolidate? Like TV is going is like an
that's
old
that's why they're
thing.
gonna branch it off.
Why
Yeah.
not just say like, okay, if you have Disney Plus, it's like just add in ESPN and
Yeah.
ABC, like directly embedded. Obviously, the live streaming from Dancing with the Stars didn't work out too well.
That's the
They
thing,
had to
right?
put that back on to regular
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the audience that watches that, they're not streaming people.
yeah.
Those are people,
Who watches Dancing with the Stars
people.
anyway? You know,
Right. It's,
the older people.
people from another generation. Kind of nicely say
Yeah.
it. Joel Young is trying to be nice.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Hey,
Forever Young. Um,
whippersnapper.
yep, pretty much.
So,
Um,
but
yeah.
I can see ESPN branching off, right? And I can see ABC for sure, right? Um, when it comes to streaming, I think that the burden of Disney Plus is quite heavy. So I think that branching off or selling their stake in Hulu, like if Comcast wants to buy it, they can, whatever, right?
Right, right.
You know, um, I think that they gotta start doing this. From what I gather, right, from what I people that I've talked to that are still at Disney, people that I've talked to recently, uh,
Sources.
sources, like the way they're operating, right? Marvel's doing their own thing, and they're not really bothering Marvel with anything. Marvel's handling everything, and that's how they're doing it, right? Um, but when it comes to like Star Wars is like truly embedded into the ecosystem now, in the ecosystem of like, or the Disney corporate system, I guess. So I don't see them branching Lucasfilm off. I think that's still gonna be an integral part of the Walt Disney Company going forward. But I do see them either branching off or selling IPs from the Fox acquisition, like IPs that Disney considers to be not, of course they're gonna keep their Marvel things, right? But selling off like other older stuff that they may not need, like Alien and Predator and all these other IPs that they now own because of the acquisition. So them giving it to another company, selling it, whatever. So they may dissolve it. So maybe they may branch off 20th Century Studios altogether, right? Or they may keep whatever they want, and they could sell it to someone else. They can sell the rest to whoever. Like, it's like, okay, so I bought you. I'm keeping Home Alone, and I'm keeping the X-Men, and I'm keeping this stuff. You can have the rest, whatever. Doesn't matter. So
See, it's so weird. Like I could see him do it, but like I feel like that's still the opposite of Iger. Like Iger's the guy who's known for taking on things,
I
not selling them.
know, but
I feel like it's more likely to see like a Warner Discovery, like them going that route. Like how there's rumors that, like, for example, the Batman series, that was not picked up for them, that they were gonna supposedly make a deal with Netflix, let it come out on there. And some of these other different properties and whatever, like they start selling out stuff to go to different places. Like it would make more sense for a company like that. Like, that's, I'm not saying that Disney can't do it. It's just something that you just don't see coming, but it doesn't make it impossible.
yeah. You want to take a quick second, or we'll be right back?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll be right back.
Sorry about that. We're back. All right. So yeah, man. I can I see what you're saying, right? Where Iger's known for being the guy that brings in, but what if he's back to be the guy that branches out now? Also, do you see the other the new rumors about the Chapek stuff and like how Iger kept his office in Burbank and he didn't want to give Chapek his office and he kept it and he kept having
Wow.
meetings with people there and
Wow.
Chapek
Although
was
I
pissed.
did hear that he
Yeah,
was not well liked. Yeah.
yeah. So he kept his office and
The
then
dude holds so many stocks. The least they could do is give him his office.
oh yeah, yeah, and then it was crazy. Yeah, it was like I don't know, like Josh and the guy from Pictures. They
Diamaro.
yeah, and they wanted to quit because it was too much. Like Chipwick was like out of touch and going nuts, and yeah, it's very interesting stuff. I can't wait for the Netflix special on that. Anyhow, so yeah, man, I just think that it doesn't make sense for them to keep everything under the same umbrella, and they should start branching out and start like really using like these divisions be handled all separate. I think it's the right move. So another prediction that I have for next year, Joel, is that Mario movie is going to be the biggest movie of the year. It's going to make $2 billion. Um, and I'm changing a prediction that I had, Joel. Um, I had my prediction that the new Switch was coming out with Zelda, right? I think that we're going to get a new Switch and a new Mario game around the same time the movie comes out. And Nintendo's going to capitalize on the movie and they're going to set everything on fire and do new Switch, new Mario game, and the movie comes out. And then Zelda's going to come out and then the year of Nintendo has begun. So,
So if you were to give a time frame around when you say coming out around the same time as the movie, say month,
yeah, April.
months within
Yeah,
differences.
April ish. Like I could see it. I could see it still go as far as the Zelda date, right? But it's gonna be around the same time as the movie comes out.
Okay.
And there's gonna be a game accompanying the movie that we don't know that we haven't seen. It could
Which
be
is awesome because in the old days that was a thing.
yeah. So my prediction. This is what what I told my daughter today. It's like there's gonna be a 2D Mario that is gonna be based on the movie. Like it's gonna use the Mario asset. No, I mean, probably not the same asset from the movie, but sort of like the same design, like the same art design that the movie has, and it's gonna be a 2D Mario, and that's probably what we'll see. And then by the end of the year, more than likely, we'll see like a proper, sequel to Mario Odyssey, which has been rumored for a couple of years now, but it's gonna be either that or they will expand on what Bowser's Fury was. So and we'll get a new game. I could totally see the new game being sort of like a Bowser's Fury thing, like a open world ish kind of thing, and with a same art design as a movie. So, but that will be accompanied by a new hardware. Like they gotta. Like there's
Yeah, yeah.
no way, bro. Like there's no way they can go another year with this hardware when you can get a Steam Deck for $50 more that can freaking run Metal Gear Solid 5 and Elden Ring and all these other games.
Mm.
They can't. Like
Are you looking to get a Steam Deck open?
I am not, but I am looking to get a new better Switch. Like straight
Oh,
up, I am. So
okay.
there's that. Um, I think that PlayStation has a lot of cards under their sleeve that they're not playing, and we're gonna see a lot more really good stuff from them. And I think that Marvel's gonna go a lot in Comic Con. They're really gonna bring it, and they're gonna try to steer away from Phase Four and kind of course correct there a little bit. And we're going to see a lot of hit and misses from Xbox. I think Xbox is gonna put out a couple of good games, but mostly everything else is just gonna either fall flat or not. They're not gonna create interest for it. So I think Xbox is I think Xbox is gonna have a rough year. Honestly, like I don't think they're making money, whatever. The Game Pass and it's Microsoft, right? They still make money, but overall, I don't see them like setting the world on fire. I don't think Starfield is gonna be the big gigantic hit that people expect it to be. I think the game's gonna sell well, right? But I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. That I have a strange feeling about that game. I mean, it's being worked on for a long time, but I just don't see that. I don't know. There's something about it. But there's something that doesn't, you know, smell right. And I could be wrong. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Xbox fans deserve a decent first party exclusive, right? Other than Forza, right? Because if you're not into racing games, you still need it. Um, and yeah, there's smaller indie stuff, but it's good for 10 hours and that's it, right? Great. But yeah, man. Um, it's gonna be an interesting year for everyone. I think this is gonna be the year of like Star Wars is gonna have a really strong comeback. I think Star Wars is gonna be in the mind share of fans again. I mean,
Yeah.
after Andor, dude, I think I think next year is gonna be the year. Um, Unfortunate that Willow, I guess, is not doing well. I haven't watched any other episodes yet, but based on like audience reviews and reviews that are out there, I don't. It doesn't seem to be doing that great, which is unfortunate. But um, yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting year. I was still right. Bob left before Kathleen Kennedy. I said it, and
For 2 years, dude, you said it.
yeah, man. Since since Bob came on board,
You've
it's
been
like
saying it the whole time, never change your tune.
yeah, man. So I don't know if you have any predictions for next year, man, but I'll take them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually think PlayStation will be very conservative and do more of the same. You're gonna have, a couple good titles that are gonna come out that are gonna just be quality, games that are just absolute staples and are gonna do very well. But I think they carry on with Busy Joy. They redid their PlayStation Plus, membership, lineup, right? The pricing on that.
Yeah.
They have their hardware intact. Behind the scenes, they're working on PlayStation 6. That's in full
Well, their
swing.
work, their I don't know if you saw the that they're supposedly going to release a modular PS5.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I could totally
that
see
you can
that. Like,
upgrade. That you can upgrade like CPU, GPU separate, and memory, add memory and whatnot. And they've patented it because that patent's been going on since before the PS4 Pro was coming out. I
right.
remember seeing that they patented it, and that was a rumor that the PS4 Pro was gonna be that. So I guess they could be ready. Who knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
I think they'll
congratulations if you were able to grab a PS5 because they were everywhere this year. So
absolutely.
good.
So I think I actually am more conservative on play. I don't think it's not going to be a bad year for them, but don't expect fireworks in my humble opinion. I think they'll carry on with business as usual and make changes where they need to, drop some really good games, and that's them. Microsoft, on the other hand, I think will get a little radical. I do think that they've made big moves, spending a lot of money to acquire specific IPs, right? And companies expect them to do more. I don't want to say desperate moves, but loud moves because they're at a place where they have no choice but to do it, or else it all goes. Like you're saying, yes, they're making money. Yes, they're doing. I'm not saying like they're not, but I
But
expect to
yeah,
see more things from them. Like I don't know what I can to say that out of the mind, whether that's another
yeah,
big acquisition. I
they're not
don't
in.
think so yet.
Yeah, I think their
Um,
biggest thing is that they need to be in the mind share of people, and you like you talk to everyone that you go out and talk to, they never mention Xbox. Like
no,
it's rare that I'm having a conversation about gaming with someone and they mention Xbox for something. It's weird, right?
yeah, it's
So
very strange.
yeah.
So I see more. I don't want to. I don't want to say fully desperate, but just that it could reek of that. For them, where PlayStation's more conservative. Nintendo's going to be the star of the year from the gaming because of what they'll do. I think similar to you. Like there's going to be a new Switch model. There's going to be something that's big coming there, and including like they're putting this. You drop a Mario movie that's going to make tons of money, potentially $1 billion. I know that sounds really wild, but I could see it being the one that does it, especially if it's something that appeals to kids,
Hmm.
adults, people all over the world. That's what you need. It passes. This movie comes out in China, it's game over. Like this is going to do very well. So I think it's a big year for them for that. And I also think from now like a cinematic standpoint, I already talked about DC earlier, but from Marvel standpoint, do you think this is the year that we get our official, whether it's the end of 2023, early middle, I think more so closer to the end, but I think we will get our official who is going to make the lineup for the next Avengers. Not saying as in like, but like basically we'll find out who officially are the characters that because we've heard rumors and people trying to put two and two together, but I do think we'll get like a definitive these people are going to be a part of this Avengers initiative, like especially with the coming Captain America movie, right? Where it's like he's putting together a team to take on like President Ross, right at the time. We'll see how all that goes.
She Hulk.
So, right. Um, so I definitely think that's gonna be big for them. I don't think you will get your X-Men casting. I don't think we'll get any of them, but I do think we'll get the date of when the first X-Men project and what that's going to be. I think we'll get that also this year. But if anything, you'll get Fantastic Four before you get X-Men. You'll get information on them. So don't be surprised at Comic-Con you get the official Fantastic Four cast come out on stage, and be aware of surprises, names that we did not think were going to come out that have not been rumored yet as of 2022 to be the ones that actually landed in the end, where it's completely left field. Maybe have already been even casted, maybe even will show up in the Ant-Man movie, and then you'll see them in a more official format. Just wait and see. But yeah, that's probably as wild as I want to get on predictions. It's fun. I think it's a lot of fun to make these. We've made some good ones for sure. Whatever happens, happens. We've been saying for years, are we gonna get that Superman game released at E3? Maybe at some point we'll get something. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know,
and
man.
we got E3 again next year. Yeah,
At
so I mean,
E3, I don't know.
I think we're gonna get some really good reveals at E3. But
E3's
yeah,
back.
yeah. No, very much looking forward to next year, and you know, definitely on gaming. You know, we got two big games in March. I think three actually. Two that at least I pre-ordered. Uh, you know, big stuff in June. Throughout the whole year, of course, Zelda's coming out in May. There's a lot happening. Dual Sense uh, X or whatever it's called, not Pro. Um, yeah, some really good stuff happening. So I'm really excited. There's a stinking moth flying around my camera right now.
I saw it. I
I
was like, it
am
was like a
very
almost
upset.
like a white light fly right into this
Yeah, I
camera. I
am
was
very upset.
hope it's about to smite thee.
Yeah, Smite the moth. But yeah, man, that's what I got. It's been another good year. Very, you know, for us. Again, thank you to everyone that's hung out with us throughout the whole year. Thank you for the guys that followed Joel and his misadventures over and Comic Con. And yeah, he's hoping he's willing and able to do it next year. So he's good.
We got plans coming.
He got the stuff.
Every time it gets better, I got more plans coming for this
Yeah,
next one.
yeah.
Just wait and see.
So you guys stay tuned. I'm hoping that this is the year that that we can get some more gaming content out there. So
For sure, for sure.
it's really hard. Joel and I are both very very busy most days. So it's just hard to schedule gaming time and especially gaming time that we can share with you guys. So we're gonna definitely try harder this year. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, Joel, where can everyone find us?
Well, this is it. Everyone, thank you for being with us. We want you to stay connected to us. So in 2023, you're there. And so we want you to subscribe to our podcast. We're on podcast platforms of your choice, places like Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. We're there. Check us out. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us and write a review as well. Look, we do this from our hearts. We really enjoy, like Obed was expressing, we're thankful to have you with us. We don't have an income coming in from this, and we're not asking you to send us money. We're just asking you to hit that like button. We're asking you to subscribe. Things like that is what really supports the show. So if you would just simply do that, it's harmless. We really would appreciate that support as well. Of course, watching and sharing these episodes with others. Next, we also want you to again, subscribe to us on YouTube. We also want you to follow us on social media. So at No Load Time, that's at No Load Time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, No Load Time. Find us there, and you can see some of our cool content. Additionally, we are on Twitch, No Load Time Altogether. That's No Load Time Altogether on Twitch. All these social I'm talking about, you can see down below. If you're watching the video version, you'll see that down below on the graphics, those handles. Last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Got ideas, things you want to see, questions you want to ask, we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Thank you all so much, and hope that you'll be with us on our next stream starting out in 2023.
Thank you guys. You guys have a safe holiday, Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Have a happy new year, and we will see you again next time.